because I go downstairs in the valet, and there every day is the most expensive cars in the world. I mean, and I love going out every single day with a $200 push scooter. It's like a razor where you push and you scoot. I go out the front door on my scooter and I weave through the cars, the $500,000 car here, the $1 million car here, for all these fancy cars, and I go to my studio. Reminds me that if I can't have fun with nothing, then what's the point of having all these things if that's the obsession?
What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Anthony Neal. Welcome back to The Table, where you guys know every Monday we keep it real, relevant, and relatable. And today I'm really excited because we have one of my good friends, man. I've been following this guy, Lewis Howes, for a minute, but then we just recently connected on an app that everyone's jumping on, Clubhouse. And I heard him on stage talking, and someone invited me up on the same stage as him. And then we just really connected and been good friends since then. Lewis Howes is no secret to the podcast world, to the video world. This man is a New York Times bestselling author, an entrepreneur, a business coach, and has one of the number one podcasts, in my personal opinion, in the world. He's definitely in the top 5 of all times, next to the Dave Ramsey Show, which is now called The Ramsey Show, and then next to my show. So he's number 3, you know. But you know what? Numbers-wise, the man has millions and millions of downloads. And so I text him, I called him and said, hey, bro, can you come on my show? Bless the people. And so, ladies and gentlemen, can y'all help me welcome to the table for the first time, and definitely not the last time, my good friend, Lewis Howes, man. What's up, bro?
My man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, man. I got to let the world know that, a few weeks ago I had Stefan Speaks on the show, and I'll never forget. You called me one day. I was like, hey, man, I think you need to meet this guy, and you need to definitely get him on your show. And because of you, man, we're almost at 100,000 views of that, man. So I appreciate, your knowledge and everything. So any more suggestions, just let me know. I
got your back.
I will listen. But, let's jump straight into it, man, because I asked you on the show. Because you know me, I'm a money guy. I'm a wealth guy. I am a guy that wants to help people accomplish all of their goals. And about a month or so ago, you posted something that was so good, the 5 steps to create a rich life. And that was also a podcast that you did as well. And so I love the content, and I just wanted to come on here and just dive a little bit deeper into this because I think my people want that rich life. They want to be wealthy. They want to be successful. And so I said, well, why not just bring, one of the greatest onto the show to have this conversation, and we both have a dialogue. So break it down for us, man. What are those 5 things to do to have a rich life?
Well, I think the pre-step to a rich life is realizing that the riches come from your energy, from your way of being, from your joy. And if you're not living in joy and living in how can I serve other people and how can I bring a smile to someone else, how can I be of service or support to other people around me, whether it's a few people, hundreds of people, thousands, or millions. If you're not coming from a place of, I truly am appreciative and grateful for my life as it is right now. I may not be satisfied. I may need work on myself, my health, my relationships, but I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for this day. I'm appreciative that I have an opportunity to experience this playground called life. And coming from that standpoint, that pre-step of, you're really going to attract more into your life and be fulfilled when you're coming from a place of joy.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just get so stuck in like the rigidness of life and the analytics of the numbers, in the process, which we'll talk about, as opposed to the way of being, the energy that actually attracts opportunities to you, that attracts higher pay increase at your career, if you're in a career, that attracts clients. I had a mentor early on that told me that the world makes room for passionate people. And if you're not living with a positive, passionate mindset and way of being, it's just going to be a lot harder to accomplish your financial rich life goals. It's challenging enough to be a human being and to make money and to figure it out if you don't know what you're doing. There's going to be challenges already, but set yourself up energetically to come from a place of joy and service. I'll say that's to start.
Okay.
With that being said, with that energy Now I want you to set your target income goal. So whatever that goal is for yourself, and I like to set a 12-month goal so I can just really track. I think we need to measure certain things. I think we need to have time and space to reflect on what's working, what's not working. So I don't like to create super long-term goals. You can have a long-term vision, but I try to create a 6 to 12-month goal financially. For me, that's just what has worked well over the last 12 years since I started doing this. And setting this goal, getting just very clear, because a lot of people just say, well, I want to make more money.
Yeah.
But how much do you want to make? How much do you want to make and why?
That's
so
good.
Get very clear on how much you want to make and why, so you know why you're doing it. So you know why you're up late, so you know why you're working hard on the weekends, so you know why you're creating something on the side, whatever it might be that you're going to do to earn more money and build that rich life. So set your target income.
Okay.
And I'd like to think big for the year. Like, okay, let's say I'm making $70,000 right now. What's the number that would scare you? It's not 75,000.
No.
But what's the number that would truly scare you? Is it 90? Is it 100? Is it 125? Great.
Yeah.
So, okay, then why does it scare you? So start just analyzing this and feeling the feeling. Okay, well, I've never done that before. I've never broken through that limit. It would be crazy. And how would it make you feel if 12 months from now, let's say you start at the beginning of the year and it's the end of the year and it's New Year's Eve and you've generated $125,000 in your bank account. The last cent came through right before midnight and you're sitting there reflecting and saying, I just accomplished this crazy goal financially that I've never done before and that it scared the crap out of me when I started the year. When you accomplish these goals, you build a sense of confidence that you've never had before. And you say, wow, I wasn't sure if I could do this, but I did it. What can I do next? Maybe I could do 225,000. Maybe I could go to 300. It doesn't feel as scary when you break through those barriers. But I feel we've got to set these sort of unrealistic goals.
Yeah.
The goals that our past self would never have been able to create, but who we're going to become will be able to create. So for me, it's setting that target goal and doing something that's a little uncomfortable and then writing it down with a date.
That's so good.
I also like to take it another woo step further. And this is something I did earlier on. I would write it down. I would put the date as if it was already happening, as if it came to me, whatever the goal was, financial or not. And then I would sign it. I would sign this piece of paper and I would hang it on my wall. Again, this might be a little woo-woo for some people, but seeing a certificate of achievement that I would create for myself hung on the wall, just like my other awards from sports and football and everything else, hung on my wall as if it was already done. I just needed to follow through and take the action steps to make it happen. That gave me a sense of clarity and purpose towards that financial goal every single day. I wake up, I look at the goal. What are the action steps I need to take to get me here? It was just another step that supported me in my journey and something that I think can be helpful for people if they need more constant reminders. Because you know that, Anthony, a lot of people get distracted. A lot of people are distracted on different things, the challenges of life, relationships, health, career. You get distracted. We take our eye off the ball. We got to be focused with our eye on the goal. So that's number one for me. Number two, I like to break down the numbers because for me, a big financial goal can seem overwhelming and scary. How am I going to bring in $125,000? I have no clue how I'm going to do that. How am I going to bring in $1 million? I have no clue how I'm going to do this. So I try to really break it down into, okay, well, how much is, if it's $125,000 or call it $100,000, so I know that's roughly $8,000 a month, how much is that every day? And then how much is that every hour? So if you break it down to monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, I don't know what that is hourly. Maybe you can check on your calculator what $100,000 is daily. That's
Let me do the math. I'm gonna do that. Right
yeah, do $100,000 daily divided by 365. But I think it's like 8,000 something monthly, and so that's probably, I don't know,
273. Yeah.
Okay, so it's $273 a day.
Yeah.
So when you look at it that way, you're like, okay, I don't need to make $100,000. I need to make $273 a day,
Which is $34. $34 an hour.
Right.
For 8 hours.
Exactly. For 8 hour workday.
Yeah.
So you need to make a $34 an hour income to make $100,000.
That's not
That doesn't
a lot.
seem that crazy.
Right,
And maybe, but that's with no days off. That's no weekends. That's
Yeah.
no vacation days. That's
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
So if you're taking a few weeks off, it's probably more like 45 or 50. I don't know what it is, but
Right.
so anyways, but that's something you start thinking about. Okay, so if I wanted to make $100,000 and I break it down to hourly, 8 hours a day, but if I did 365 days, what would I need to do? What type of contacts would I need to create and cultivate? Who would I need to serve? How would I need to network? Would I need to build a side hustle? Maybe my career isn't going to get me there right now. What's the money, the difference I need to make up in order to get me there for the rest of the year? Maybe it's not out of come in the first half of the year. Maybe I'm building something and creating something and launching something that comes in the second half of the year, so I'll make up for it there. So I just think that makes it more understandable and easier for you to process, as opposed to, I have no idea where $100,000 is going to come from. I'm only making 60. How am I going to make the rest? Break it down and really set yourself up for success that way. So that's something I like to do. That's number 2. Number 3 is to then just make a plan to reach your financial goal and really take an honest look at, okay, how much money am I bringing in? What are my expenses? Maybe I need to cut some expenses. But I like to, I think you guys do a great job of teaching people to cut expenses.
Yeah.
And make sure you're frugal in the things that need to be frugal with. You're cutting out subscriptions on all these things that are really unnecessary, that are luxuries.
Yeah.
Until you get to a level financially that, okay, luxuries you can spend on these things if you're hitting your financial goals. I have on the mindset of, yes, do that, but also start thinking of how can I earn more? How can I create more? How can I develop more? Like, if you don't want to get rid of those things, then you got to earn more.
Absolutely.
So start thinking about, what's the multiple stream of income that I'm going to create? What's the side hustle on the weekends? What's the product I'm going to make on the side? Who am I going to partner with? What type of opportunities, consulting, whatever it might be that you can do to earn extra income. So I'm thinking always about earning more and coming from a place of abundance. Yes, manage expenses and cut certain things you don't need to, but make a plan to reach the financial goal. And just think about, what are my skills? What can I create? Who can I partner with? Who's got something out there already that I can be a part of? And go from that place. Number 4 is to create systems and automate. You know as well as me that when you probably were starting out in your business and your career, you're probably doing a lot of things on your own. And it's hard to really scale your income past a certain level when you're doing it all your own. So the more systems, the more structure, the more processes, team that you have in place to really leverage time and energy with other people and support and systems so that you can focus on the main thing, which is earning more, using your superpower to earn more money, whatever that looks like for you, the better off you're going to be. Yeah. And I'm also a big fan of finding accountability and coaching. And I know you guys have accountability and coaching over on Ramsey team. And for me, it's just hard. Life is challenging when you have big goals. It doesn't, when you have big goals you've never accomplished, it's not supposed to be easy to get there. Yeah. You need support, accountability. Whether this is a friend, whether you're investing in a coach, you need some type of support system. So I'm a big fan of accountability, mentors, coaching, and also just automating processes as much as you can in your business. And then I would say the 5th thing is to do a monthly check-in. I think, again, it can be easy to have these big goals for a year, and 2 weeks in, 4 weeks in, 6 weeks in, 8 weeks in, we get distracted. Okay, I didn't hit my goals. This didn't happen. Life is taking me another direction to look at other things, and then we fall off track. And then we look at the end of the year and say, well, why didn't I accomplish my goals? Every month, you should have some type of process where you check in with yourself or a coach. This is why I think coaching is huge, because when you have someone that you're investing in, they're holding you accountable, and you don't want to let yourself down or the coach down. So for me, it's just monthly check-in, and it's going through what worked, what didn't work, what were the wins of the month, and how can I improve? And I think if you can do those 5 things with the pre-step of coming from a place of abundance, coming from a place of, joy, of passion, of service, then you're setting yourself up for success.
I love how you led off with that, Lewis, how you said, hey, listen, these 5 things would definitely help you get there. But if you don't come from a place of content, you're content with where you are, a place of contentment, a place of joy, a place of peace, then the next 5 things really won't matter. because you're coming at it from a place that is not healthy. And it sounds like what you're simply saying is be healthy, be joyful, be grateful, and then let's set some numbers. And one of the key things that you said, I always call those for me on my side like God goals. Like what are your God goals? What are your goals?
Mm-hmm.
My goal is, okay, I just want to make, $75,000 a year for an example. But then, hey, what's a God goal? And a God goal is like, yo, if he don't intervene, if he don't help out, I ain't gonna hit it. But if he do, I can maybe make 125. And I remember doing that during COVID. I'll never forget when COVID hit. I said, all right, I gotta bust my butt. And I set this big goal. And it was a scary goal. And I was like, but no one's really working. And I said, but hey, we're going to do it so you can push forward, so you can help, our Ramsey team here continue to go and not lose money. And you know what? I'll be honest, Lewis, I didn't hit it 100%. I came in at 92% of my goal. But 92% of my goal.
It's a lot closer. It's a lot more than you were making before.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, that big goal, the God goal, was more than my normal. And so I love how you said, yo, listen, aim for that. And the worst case scenario, you'll hit your minimum goal. But more than likely, if you really apply all the 5 steps that you taught, coming from a place of joy, more than likely, if you're working with intentionality, you're disciplined, you're a hard worker, and you're putting in what it takes to get there, you're past your goal. And you may not hit your big goal, but you'll get somewhere in between, and that means you won.
You're more than where you were before the previous year. And you're growing, and you're developing yourself, and you're creating new skills, and you're getting uncomfortable, and that's what this whole thing is about, man. Growth,
man.
And if we're not growing, then what's the point?
Man, I love it, man. I really do. And then I love how you really broke down, and I really want everyone to really pay attention to this one. I read this book on habits, and it talks about habits are pretty much is another word for habits is systems. And you broke down 100,000 divided into 365 was right around $234. Breaking that down there too is about $35 an hour. And then what you're doing is, like you said, what are some systems that we can apply every single day to make $234, and just focus on that 234. Don't focus on the 100,000 anymore. Focus on hitting that 234. And what I love about it is, one day you make 500. You still need to make 234 the next day.
Absolutely.
That's how we get ahead. And I love that, y'all. Like write down the plan. Write it down. Aim at the bare minimum every single day, and you will be successful. Lewis, I want to ask you this question because I think a lot of people, when they see the title like Rich Life, I'm like, okay, wait, I want to be rich. What would you say your definition of rich life is for Lewis?
Freedom. Freedom to be my fully expressed self at any moment. Freedom to spend time with the people I care about. Freedom to do the activities that I love, freedom to think in a way that makes me come alive, freedom to feel a way that brings me joy and love and inner peace, and the freedom to say no to anything that I want to say no to and say yes to the things I want to say yes to. That's what a rich life is to me, and being healthy in the whole process.
Well, thanks for not saying no to me, because you definitely living your rich life. So you could have said no to me, and I would have been hurt. No, I'm just playing, man. But that's so powerful, man. When I sat back and listened to your podcast, I was like, man, what does a rich life look like for me? And I answered the same thing as you. I just said options. Options to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, with whoever I want to do it with.
Yeah, sounds amazing, right?
And it's just really something for me when I think about being wealthy, having a rich life, whatever you want to describe that. And it's not about what money does for me. It's about what the money does when it gives me options. And that's
I'll tell you what, man.
I like.
Yeah, I live in a building here in LA, and during COVID, there was a guy in my building who jumped off the building and committed suicide, and he was estimated, I think, worth a few $100 million. And I was just like, you could have a few $100 million in the bank and be in the Hollywood scene and all these things. And he was connected to Bill Clinton and all these other people, these big celebrities and politicians. But if you aren't feeling peace inside or something is missing and you don't feel fulfillment, then the financial rich life isn't enough.
Come on, man.
Yes, you could have it and still feel fulfilled and rich inside, but having it doesn't mean you're going to have freedom emotionally, spiritually, relationally, whatever it might be. And you got to learn how to accept and love yourself in the process. So, and I think sometimes we can, and I've been this in the past, I've been so focused on the money that I forget about the joy and about love and my spiritual purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you got to be mindful of while you're in pursuit of financial gains as well. And know that it's not going to solve every problem. It can solve a lot of problems. It can take care of your health bills. It can pay for rent. It can buy food. You need money. It's going to solve a lot of problems, but it's not solving every problem. And I think that's where sometimes people get hung up on.
Yo, fam, I need you to stop what you're doing right now and take out your cell phone and pay attention for the next 20 seconds. Listen, my team and I have created an exclusive private group, and I want you to be a part of it. You see, I am determined to help you become successful. When I say successful, I want to make sure that you identify and determine what success means for you. But there's 4 key areas that you need to focus on. That's your network, that's your net worth, that's your mindset that's rooted from a spiritual perspective. And what I'm going to be doing is every single week, sending out exclusive content, sending out behind the scene footage, sending out some encouraging text messages to help you get to your goals, to help you get out of debt, to help you build wealth, to help you even date properly, because you and I both need some help with that, okay? All y'all married people, I'm praying with you. Pray for me too, But at the end of the day, we want to help you become successful. So what I want you to do right now is text TABLE to 615-930-3431. Again, that's 615-930-3431. I want you to text TABLE to that number. I promise you, I want to help you become successful. So stop what you're doing right now, text the number, and then get back over to the show. If you're watching on Instagram, just keep scrolling on down and follow your boy. It's your boy, Anthony O'Neill, and I approve this message. If you're just now tuning into the show, man, thank you all, first off, for tuning in. You're here at the table with your boy, Anthony O'Neill, and with my special guest today, my good friend, Lewis Howes, New York Times bestselling author, entrepreneur, business coach, and has one of the top podcasts in the world. So definitely going to drop all of his information in the show description. Make sure to check it out. This man has interviewed your Kobe Bryants. Some of the biggest names in the world. And I'm just so grateful and honored to have this legend on my show. And so I'm just so grateful to have him on this show. Lewis, you talk a lot about funding your dream lifestyle. And so I just want to get personal, man, without knowing too much information. But what's your dream lifestyle, and are you living it out now?
My dream lifestyle is getting to do exactly what I want in my mission, in my work. It's getting to do all the activities that inspire me the most. It's getting to be around my family and friends whenever I want to be around them. It's getting the ability to travel when I want to travel, and the ability to have the most fascinating conversations in the world. That's what lights me up, having fascinating conversations with fascinating people. I just feel like I've been, especially in the last couple of months, I've been leaning more and more into living that lifestyle. I'm a big salsa dancer, so I'm doing 2 private salsa lessons a week right now.
I saw, bro, you're killing it too. I was like, man, look at Lewis.
I did 2 right now. I got away from it for a couple of years, and I felt like something was missing. I'm not doing the activities and the hobbies that bring me a lot of joy. So I signed up for 2 private salsa lessons a week from a world champion teacher who's incredible, who scares me because she's so good. I really want to learn Spanish. So 3 mornings a week, I have private Spanish lessons from a coach that's teaching me Spanish.
Okay.
I really wanted to pick up boxing this year. So I hired an Olympic medalist.
I saw.
And I'm doing twice a week boxing.
Come on, man.
I really wanted to get back in the gym and have a coach train me to push me like when I was back in my football days. So I hired an amazing um, a trainer to train me twice a week. I really wanted to make sure that I'm constantly evolving my emotions in my inner world. So I hired an incredible therapist coach to support me on my spiritual, emotional journey to continue to evolve. And I meet with her once every other week. And I'm traveling, I'm having fun. I say yes to the people I want to work with. I work on the products that I love. It took me 12 years to get here. And a lot of things that I wasn't able to do all the time, and things that I didn't necessarily want to do to get me here, in terms of saying yes to products I didn't like, but I knew it was going to support the mission and help me get here financially. And I'm just grateful for my life. Like every morning I wake up and say thank you, because I know that today is not guaranteed, and that every breath that I'm taking right now is getting me closer to my last breath. And so I want to make sure I'm enjoying the moments with each breath.
And so, I got to ask this question because I know people are listening on my show like, oh my gosh, he's spending a lot of money. Like, how do you
A lot of money.
Yeah.
This year, I decided after a decade or 12 years of earning and saving and investing.
Yeah.
And putting a lot of money away every year into every retirement, every life insurance policy, stocks, real estate, like maxing everything out, IRA, whatever it is, maxing everything out, all the tax benefits, all that stuff. I was like, okay, and if I died tomorrow and had all this savings for the future, but I wasn't also enjoying my life to the fullest now, would I be proud of myself? And so this is just a decision I'm making. I think everyone's got to figure, and I'm not taking money on my savings.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not taking my investments out. I still have extra money that I can invest in. And it's like, do I put it in more real estate, or do I put it in myself? And I believe I am always going to be the greatest investment in pouring back into knowledge, skills, connections, opportunities, growth, healing, whatever it might be, activities that bring me fun and joy, working out, all these things, healthy foods. That is going to be my greatest investment. And so I decided this year, I was like, I'm going to spend a lot of money on myself.
Yeah.
And not in a excuse me, not in like a selfish, egotistical way of like, I'm going to buy cars and bags and watches. Like I don't even wear jewelry, but more of like the investment in coaches and teachers of the best to help me improve my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's going to be the greatest investment by the end of the year. It's like just having a team of elite coaches, skilled individual to teach me and help me grow. And it's going to cost a lot these are LA coaching prices. So, every training session is not your $20 coach.
It sure ain't, brother. Trust me, I know.
It's funny. I was talking to my trainer. He had my boxing trainer, and he had his name's Tony. He's amazing. And I said, man, he had another client coming right after me, and we were just talking about like, man, he's amazing, but it's expensive.
Yes.
And Tony was right there in front of us. We were kind of making a joke about it, and I was like, what's funny? 2 of his sessions was a month of my rent in Columbus, Ohio, 11 years ago. Like 2 sessions now was what a month of my rent costed living in Columbus, Ohio 10, 11 years ago when I was just getting started. So it's crazy to think like how far I could come where I'm even have the courage to invest that much in
to yourself though. But it's not really to the teacher. Yeah, it's into you. And I agree with you. I'm doing that right now. I picked up golf 2 years ago, and I said, you know what? If I'm going to enjoy this game, and if I'm going to make this investment into golfing, which is an expensive sport.
Yeah, you want to be good at it, or semi-good.
Exactly. I want to be able to enjoy it. And my therapist, I invest into a therapist twice a month as well, to just speak through me. And she said, I like golf for you. I was like, why you say that? She said, because you're looking at golfing of the sport, but golfing teaches you patience.
Oh my
Golfing
gosh, so much.
golfing teaches you consistent,
Humility.
yes, and humility and being consistent. You got to swing the
Yes.
club the exact same way, at the exact same tempo, and then sometimes to hit different kind of balls, you got to adjust it a little bit, and you got to know when to adjust. And she said, if you can take those skills and apply that into your life, you'll be a stronger individual. And she was one who said, I want you to go get a golf coach to train you this the right way. So when I looked up a
Yes.
golf coach, I have a golf coach that is very well known, was in the top 50 golf coaches in the United States of America, out here at one of the private golf courses. And you're right, his one session was,
Expensive.
it made me like, wait, I'm about to do what? But I love what you said.
Yeah.
Is you spent 12 years of building your foundation. You spent 12 years of making sure that your priorities are in place, so that way when you do spend the money over here, your free money, your leisure money, you can do it in a peaceful way because your priorities are taken care of. You're not taking money from your savings. And I think that's something that I want all of everyone who's listening to us right now. Lewis House, yes, is in a different financial category right now. I'm probably in a different financial category than some people. You may not be there, but you will be there. But wherever you are right now, I agree with Lewis. Like, yo, you are your number one investment. And whatever brings you peace, whatever brings you joy, whatever can remove you from, the typical culture and society to make you feel better, to make you connect with yourself internally better, I say make that investment, whether that's the gym, whether that's, Spanish lessons, piano lessons, golf lessons, mentorship and therapy sessions. Great. I actually pay my mentors. I don't pay them because that's what they require, but I honestly give them money because I respect their time. And so I totally, man, I totally agree.
Yeah, and if you're coming from if the community is coming from a more spiritual God perspective, I feel like, the story of the talents always comes back to me. It's like, what are you doing with the talent you're given right now to multiply it?
Yeah.
To maximize your talent so that you could be of service to the people in your life in a deeper, more impactful way, or be in service to more people. And how are you multiplying your talents? And I feel like skill acquisition, like acquiring skills,
Yeah.
bettering yourself, overcoming hurt and pain and resentment from your past, doing these things is going to allow you to be of better service to the people in your life or to more people that come your way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I want to switch gears a little bit here because I listen to all your shows because I'm an avid learner, and your knowledge is so amazing on your shows. And one of the things you've said before is that it's not good to become obsessed with money. If we're really grinding and working hard every single day to hit these money goals, how do we prevent ourselves from actually becoming obsessed with money?
I think for me, it's constantly grounding myself on what my mission is and who I am and who I want to become in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm in a fancy building,
Yeah.
right? I'm in a fancy apartment building here in LA. It's, got all the bells and whistles, doorman, valet, like lap pool, like all the fancy stuff. It's in the middle of like Century City, Beverly Hills. But it's funny because I go downstairs and the valet, you walk right out in front and the valet is right there. And there every day is the most expensive cars in the world. I mean, princes live in the building from other countries, and it's just like I'm in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
It's right next to my studio. It's convenient, so I don't want to be in a house right now, so I'm living in an apartment building.
Yeah.
And any car you can name that's expensive is there. The Rolls Royces, the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, they're all there. The one of ones in the world are there. It's like absurd about these cars. And I love going out every single day with a $200 push scooter, not even an electric scooter, a push scooter, where I literally, like a razor, where you push and you scoot. And I go out the front door on my scooter, and I weave through the cars the $500,000 car here, the $1 million car here, for all these fancy cars, and I just push my way out and smile and say good morning, and I go to my studio. For me, that reminds me that, again, this is the same building where someone jumped out of, who I was worth hundreds of millions. Reminds me that if I can't have fun with nothing, then what's the point of having all these things if that's the obsession? If that's the obsession. Now, again, I like nice things. I like comfort. I have a nice Tesla. It's like I don't like to have quality things, but when it's becomes my identity, like I need to have this, it's mine, like obsessing over for those reasons, I just feel like you're going down a slippery slope. And so I'm surrounded by wealth and reminded by it. How does it make me feel if it's portrayed in a certain way? Does it make me feel good? Let me just keep riding my scooter, pushing away, and I don't care if people judge me, look at me funny, think I'm whatever. For me, it reminds me to be like a child, childlike, to have like joyful energy, and that I don't need to obsess over these things.
Yeah.
It just keeps me a little more grounded.
I love that. And let's talk about grounded. You know, you've built a huge empire, and we've talked all offline, and some of your goals and dreams and visions that you have for the future are, I mean, absolutely amazing. But while you were building, it's a two-part question. Did you ever hit a season to where you thought it wasn't going to work? It wasn't going to end the way that you wanted it to end? And if so, how did you get through that season? Because, you know, a lot of people right now are like, man, I hear you, have these big goals, but I don't even see how I'm going to hit my regular goal, my normal goal, because of the pandemic or because of some obstacles that are hitting me. How do we keep people motivated during hard times when they hit, who just feel like quitting and saying, I can't do it? Because I know I've been there, but I'm just curious, have you been there? How did you do it? And can we motivate the people who are listening to us right now to push through as well?
I think I've been there a little bit. I've definitely been there where my business, I had goals for a certain year. Adversity struck, and then I had to shift and take time, and it didn't hit the goals, right? And it probably went down from the revenue from the previous year. That's probably happened once, maybe twice. And I remember just saying, okay, you know, just like as human beings, we can't always breathe in and expand. We can't always be like doing that. You have to take a breath out and contract.
Yeah.
And then you can breathe again and expand bigger if you want to.
Yeah.
And you got to go back.
Yeah.
I think sometimes in business, like, okay, you can have a big year and expand, but sometimes you got to come back and like, okay, maybe you hired too many people. Maybe your systems weren't in place and you were able to get a certain way, but now you got to bring it back a step so you can go forward. So, you know, a health scare, something in the family, whatever, things are going to happen. And that's why it's important to go back to those 5 steps where it's like, what are the systems and processes in place so that if you go down for a month, a week, 6 months, the whole thing doesn't go down with you.
Yeah.
Maybe it falls back, but it doesn't crumble to the ground.
Yeah.
And luckily, I've been able to build recurring revenue streams in place in my business that, because I knew like I want to have recurring revenue streams. So I've got 4 recurring revenue streams, monthly recurring revenue streams, so that if one goes down, at least I've got the 3 other. If 2 go down, I've got the 2 other. If they're all going great, awesome, we're gonna have a great year.
Yeah.
So it's just learning, making lots of mistakes, figuring it out as you go, and being able to pivot.
I love it. I love it. All right, 2 more questions, fun questions. What is the best thing over the last, let's say over the last 5 years? Over the last 5 years, you've spent your money on the best thing Lewis Howes has spent his money on.
Like one thing,
just
or like
the best. If it's one thing that, or
I'll tell you what. The first thing that came to mind. So, I mean, I was going to say like myself, like always putting money on myself. But if I'm going to put it on one thing, for the sake of this question, for the best investment I probably made is getting Invisalign 2 years ago. Getting like braces. Yeah, I've got them. Got them right here. Actually, I take them out when I do the interviews.
Man.
But when I was 16, I had 8 teeth removed. 8, 4 wisdom teeth, and then 4 on the side, so you can see it like here.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah,
Each side, I got these gaps, right?
right.
And they took those 4 out because they wanted to make space and put braces on. This was on a 16. However, football season was coming up a couple months later, and after I got them removed, I was like, I don't want to wear this mouth guard and have these braces and like get it all. It's gonna break all the time, and so I was like, let me wait till after football season. After football season, the day after basketball season comes, and I was like, I don't want to play with braces right now. Like, let me wait till after that. There was never 20 years. I kept saying, well, let me wait, let me wait, let me wait. And then 2 years ago, I finally was like, I can't chew. My jaw grew in such a way where my back teeth didn't touch after that. So in 20 years, I haven't been able to clench my back teeth and chew properly, which affected my digestive system, which affected lots of things.
Yeah.
And so I finally was like, you know what? Okay. Like the older you get, you don't want to get braces.
Right.
It's like, especially when you're on video, like I don't want to do this. But I was like, this is going to be painful. This is going to be challenging. This is not going to be fun. But it's probably going to be the best investment I make for my health, for my confidence, for everything. And so I did that, and it was expensive. I think I paid like $7 or $8
Yeah.
because I had such a complicated case. But for me, that was the best investment probably, because for the rest of my life I'll be able to chew properly.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so flip it. The worst investment, Lewis.
First thing that comes to mind is probably I made a bunch of, I don't know if that was the worst investment, but I bought a bunch of crypto that didn't do anything for me years ago. And so that was probably
The worst.
Yeah, worst investment, because you also obsess my time over just trying to every
to-
moment. It's going up and down. Like, what do I do? You know, so just investing in things I don't know about.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
And then stressing about it. Oh my God, I lose it all. So that's probably the worst of it. I mean, if I was gonna like focus on it and learn about it, then maybe it'd be a good investment. But
Yeah.
I wasn't smart enough at it.
When you guys think about your finances, AKA your money, do you get stressed? Do you get anxious? Do you feel like, hey, where do I start? How do I begin? What do I do? Well, check it. I totally get it, because I remember being 18 years old, being a young man, living paycheck to paycheck, homeless, sleeping in the back of my car. I totally get it. But I got something I want to share with you that's going to help change your financial future. And this is called Ramsey Plus. Ramsey Plus is going to give you this step-by-step plan, the step-by-step guide on how to change your financial future. Inside of Ramsey Plus, you're going to learn how to get an emergency fund, how to get out of debt, how to start building wealth, how to start investing. We're going to teach you everything you need to know on how to change your financial future. So, for right now, if you text the word AO plus to 33789, I'm going to give you a free 30-day trial. Now check this out, you guys. Let me be real with you, all right? Can you think about what can happen if you commit to 30 days? What those 30 days can do for the next 30 years of your family's life and your life? Listen, I can't say nothing else. Text the word AO plus to 33789 so you can change your family's future. This is your boy Anthony O'Neill, and I approve this message. One of the things I've learned about you, Lewis, is, and I'm pretty sure everyone who's listened to this show is like, man, Lewis really believes you're at a season of your life to where if it doesn't benefit you internally, it just seems like it's not one of your top investments. It's like, how does Lewis Howes benefit from this? With my peace, with my joy, with my life? How does it add joy? How does it add to me? Because you're talking about one of the worst things was that was external. That was money in the bank, but it was like, it was bringing me a little bit of stress too. So I like that, man. I really do. I really do.
If we have a yes or no list, whether it's a mental or we write it down, a yes or no list that we make decisions based on a vision of things that gets us closer to our joy, inner peace, freedom, fulfillment, love, and we make decisions based on that, We're going to be able to say no to things a lot easier when we ask ourselves, will this bring us the most joy? Will this help us further our mission? Will this help us improve? Or is it more just for the money, just for the ego, just for the accomplishments? And I'm not saying you shouldn't be striving for things for accomplishments and money as well, but is it also supporting in these other ways?
Yeah.
And listen, a different season of your life, you might need to make decisions based on, well, I need money right now, so I got to do this. It's not what I want to do, but I'm going to need to do it, have the resources, then I can make decisions differently in the future. So I get it. I'm just the season of life I'm at right now.
Man, I know I love it, man. I really do. And Louis, man, thanks so much for coming on the show. I know that you're very strategic and intentional with your time, and I appreciate you for allowing me to interview you and just talk to you, have a real candid conversation. I want people to know he does drive a Tesla. You know, he did mention that on the fly. You know, he has a Tesla. I was going to buy a Tesla.
Before I had a Tesla, when I moved to LA, I had a 1997 Cadillac Eldorado Baritz that was 20-something years old. And it was a $4,500 car that I bought from a mentor of mine. It was actually kind of cool because it looked old and classic.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like this fancy bells and whistles. There was no Bluetooth. There was nothing. It was like a CD player in there. And I drove that for 5 years.
Wow.
And did not care. And I think when you care so much about what other people think about what you're driving or what you're wearing, and you're doing it because you care what other people think, it's just not going to be as fulfilling. When you're doing it because you care, I like this, and it brings me joy. I like the way I feel in this. This is cool. I like it for me. Awesome. Then get as fancy stuff as you want because you're like, I like the Rolex. I like this. Cool. Do it. But when you're doing it for others to impress, I feel like it's just never going to be enough.
Right. You're speaking true, man. And that's something that I had to grow out of, you know, honestly. Louis, when I started making my money, I started buying things because I wanted other people to know that I had money. And I'll never forget last year throughout COVID, right in the prime of COVID, nobody was traveling. Nobody was going anywhere. I went to the mall and bought a $3,000 Gucci backpack. And I felt like I was accomplished, right? I get home, I get the backpack, I come into the office. No one's really in the office because it's COVID. And I'm sitting here like, did I just really buy a $3,000 bag to impress people who I'm not even going anywhere. They're not here.
You're not traveling,
I'm not doing anything. That's an expensive backpack to go from home to the office, from the office to the home. And then I bought it because that's what I wanted. I wanted them to see it, not because that's what I really wanted at the time. Now, will I eventually probably go back and get a backpack? Absolutely. I mean, I have a real nice carry-on. But it's like, for me, I'm always asking myself now, okay, am I purchasing this because this is what I want, or am I purchasing this because I want to be seen with it? And I think it's a fair question for me to ask because some of my purchases are so that other people can see. And so I've realized, like, okay, then let's just pause on that because I don't want to spend that much money just to be seen. I want to spend money on things that are going to bring me joy, going to bring me peace. And I do like nice quality things. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I think it's something that just came to me in the moment is like, everyone wants to be acknowledged and seen. And I don't think it's like bad, right? But when you're obsessed over it to gain that acknowledgement for the wrong reasons, then you just may not feel fulfilled inside. And you may attract the wrong people, and who knows, there might be more breakdowns. But if we do things not to be seen, but to be of greater service, then I feel like, okay, invest in whatever you need to be of greater service. So I get it. If you're in a profession where, hey, I got to show up to sales meetings, I got to look good, I want to make sure I'm driving a proper car. You know, we live in a world where you got to have an identity. So I get it. And you can also come from a place of, I'm doing this because I want to feel good, I want to look good, I want to fit the part of my business role or my personal life goals, but also hopefully so that I can attract the right people, so when they see me, they can trust me and have more credibility with me, so that when I do speak, my words have more weight and I can impact people in a better way.
Yeah.
I think when you're coming from that place, then, it's all good.
Yeah.
But it's just about the intention behind it.
Woo! make sure that you all go subscribe to Lewis Howe's podcast and his YouTube channel. We're going to drop all of his information in the show notes. Please go and support this man. He interviews some of the most intelligent, wisest, successful people out there in the world. And himself, he has some amazing content as well. So make sure y'all check him out. So here's your financial tip of the week, you guys. You guys already know that last year was a hectic year of traveling. Pretty much we couldn't travel. And so this year, everyone's looking to get out, and companies know that as well. So I asked my good friend, one of our latest and newest Ramsey personalities, come join us, because this man right here has some tips and some tricks to help all of us get out there, hit the beach, hit the country, hit the out of country travel on the low, and still have a good time. So, George, what's the first tip, trick of this week?
Okay, Anthony, you know I love a good deal.
Okay.
And it all starts with the flights.
Oh.
You got to get somewhere, right?
Okay.
And when it comes to flights, the companies know that we all want to travel.
Yeah.
So they're jacking up prices, which means we got to be more intentional than ever to make sure we're doing our due diligence and doing our research to get a good deal.
Okay, so where do we go?
I start with Skyscanner.com.
Oh.
Skyscanner.com, there's also an app, and here's what they do. They're going to check with 1,200 travel companies to get you the best deal, and they don't use your data to jack the price up because they know you want to go somewhere. So I like starting there, and I like to also use Google Flights to see how it measures up.
Is that google.com/flights?
You can get there any way you do it. You can just go to Google and type in flights. It'll pop up. They know where you're going.
All right.
So on Google Flights, here's what I love about it. You can type in, I want to go from Nashville to anywhere. And I want to go for 2 weeks sometime in July.
Okay.
And so you can be real flexible. The more flexible you are, the better deal you're going to get. If you're going to, I got to go this date to this date to this location, well, you're kind of stuck with whatever flights are happening.
Love it.
So try to be flexible and use Google Flights and Skyscanner to kind of get a feel for what the prices should be.
Okay.
And there's one more I want to mention, and that's Scott's Cheap Flights.
Scott's Cheap Flights.
Scott's Cheap Flights.
I've heard of that one.
Yes. And here's the thing. The free version, they just send you one international deal per week. But if you're a big traveler and you want to go some places and you don't want to spend $1,000 to get out of the country, Scott's Cheap Flights, $49 a year. They'll send you all kinds of domestic, international deals, and they are legit.
Okay, so now Scott's Cheap Flights is flights, and does it have like packages in there sometimes?
It's got a lot, yeah.
A lot.
It's got everything in there.
Cool. So now we're talking about flights. 3 great stuff, and you guys don't worry about it. We're going to put all these tips and tricks in the show notes, so you don't have to worry about remembering them. But once we get there, we got to stay somewhere, brother.
Yes, and I know you, Anthony. I've traveled with you a lot.
Yes, sir.
We like to stay in nice places.
I'm a little bougie. I'm going to be real.
And we got to get our beauty rest.
Absolutely.
And so what I like to do is start with going to Hotels.com.
I go there. Okay.
Hotels.com is a great baseline to kind of see what are the prices right now for the places I want to stay.
Okay.
And depending on your flexibility, you can go to Priceline.com, which is another one I love.
Okay.
And here's the hack for Priceline.com. A lot of people, they're scared to do the bid. You know, where you go, hey, you can actually bid.
You don't know where they're going to put you.
But I have a way to find out.
Shut up.
I know. So here's what you do. You search on Priceline like you're going to pay retail price for whatever they charge. But then on the map, you can see which hotels are planted where.
Okay.
So when you go to bid, it says, hey, it's going to be this hotel in this area. And you can go,
go back.
That's the same hotel I saw in this area of the map. So you basically can figure out where you're going to stay. And they say, it's a 4-star hotel. And that gives you another clue. So you use the clues, do your research, and then instead of paying $120, I can bid $80 or $90 and get that same spot for $30 cheaper a night. So there we go. I know. And now some people, Anthony, they like to live like a local.
Yeah.
So they go, I want to stay at a cooler place. I want to stay at an Airbnb. I don't want to stay at a big hotel downtown.
Yeah.
And so Airbnb can be a great option, especially in a major city where, Nashville, it's $350 a night at any hotel downtown.
Yeah.
But you can find a nice Airbnb right outside of downtown for $100 a night.
Love it.
$150 a night. Right. So do your research on Airbnb if you want to find a local place. Now, I know you and me, we don't like to have to pick up after ourselves, right?
No.
So sometimes a hotel is nice.
Yes.
Because you can just leave and not have to worry about, did I lock the doors? Did I put the laundry where it's supposed to go and make the host happy?
Yeah.
So that covers your lodging.
Okay. So now we get there on a good budget.
Yep.
We're staying there on a good budget. Now, brother, a lot of us like to get out, go hit the beach, go hit the clubs, go hit some restaurants. So in your expertise, because this is your field, how do we get around as when it comes to transportation?
Ooh, this is a fun one.
Okay.
Now, if you've tried to rent a car lately,
Oh, it's hard.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Because the rental car companies had to sell all their cars because
Yes.
of the pandemic to stay afloat,
Yeah.
which means there's less rental cars than ever, and the car companies can't keep up with the demand. So here's what I'm going to tell you.
okay.
Use Uber and Lyft. You don't need a rental car if you're going to some of these major cities. Me and my wife went to San Francisco, and instead of renting a car and driving around in a crazy city that we're unfamiliar with and dealing with the stress of traffic and all these things, I want someone else to deal with that.
Yes.
And what we did was we did a lot of shared lifts.
Yeah.
And so you pay a cheaper price, and there might be someone else in the car. There might be a pit stop along the way.
Now, how often on a shared lift does it happen to where you have other people in the car?
I would
it's
say
not that often.
It was maybe 1 out of 3 times.
Yeah.
And they also have different ways where if you want to wait 15 minutes, it's a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
So again, flexibility is going to give you the best price.
Gotcha.
And so I like Uber and Lyft for getting around a big city. Now I understand if you're going somewhere where you got to go,
Yeah.
50 miles, then you might need to rent a car.
Here's why I like Uber or Lyft, because when I land, I can go straight to my car and get picked up, and when I come back, I can get dropped off straight at the departure and go straight to my gate. When you rent a car, you got to catch a trolley, you got to catch a bus.
You got to leave an hour early just to do all that.
So it's like Uber and Lyft. That's a great option.
Yeah. And public transportation is awesome. I know a lot of people go, I don't want to ride a bus in a city. But let me tell you, riding public transportation, Anthony, I know you're bougie.
Yeah.
You want to be in your own little bubble.
I'm gonna be real. I don't do it.
Well, let me tell you, I'm from Boston. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. By the time I was 13, I was taking the train into the city by myself, taking subways, taking buses to get home. And I like to live like a local. So if you're like me and you're not like Anthony and you want to live like the locals do, use public transportation. It could be $2 to get around the city instead of paying $200 a day for Anthony's rental car. So you choose your own adventure there. But I'm just letting you know, in a city, it's fun to do public transportation.
I may not do 200. You know what I'm saying? But I may drop 100.
Okay. Now, if you do have a car, like you do, I would use Gas Buddy. It's my favorite app. I use it all the time locally here, just in Nashville.
Is that an app?
It's an app, and it finds the best deal on gas around you.
Okay.
So if you're like trying to get to the airport and you got to fill your own gas, don't fill it near the airport where it's $3.50. Do it on the way there where it's $2.75. And so Gas Buddy will show in your area where the best place to get gas is.
So, George, one of the things I really I wonder if you have any tips on is I love package deals.
Oh, yeah.
But you can find great package deals that are real expensive. Then you can find some package deals that are real cheap, but then you also go to a very cheap place.
Oh, yeah.
So for our viewers who are watching this right now, and they're looking for all-inclusive, travel, lodging, food, are there any good places to go get good package deals?
Absolutely. Kayak.com is a great place to start. Everyone's heard of Kayak.
Yep.
So you can start there, but truthfully, I'm a Costco guy.
Costco.
If you know about Costco, it's a wholesale club. You might have one in your area. I'm a Costco member, and through Costco, there's this thing called Costco Travel.
Yeah.
And so they have travel agents, and they have amazing deals for packages. We did our honeymoon on Costco Travel, and we went to Cancun at a nice, 4.5-star, all-inclusive there, and it didn't break the budget. And we had a great time, and I just booked a trip to Cabo this fall. If you want to join, there's room, Anthony.
No, I'm single. You're married, man.
Okay.
I don't want to go
All
with
right.
married people.
All right, just me and my wife then.
Because,
So, here's the deal. Costco Travel.
Wait, I could go because I may find my wife on the
Oh, boy. Listen.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. Come along the adventure. So if you go to Costco Travel, here's what I love. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually talk to humans still.
Yeah.
Right? We're all digital. We don't want to talk to people. But here's what I did. I went on Costco Travel, and I called the phone number. And I spoke to, this is all free. It's just their customer service. They're travel agents that work for Costco. And I said, hey, I want to go somewhere. Here's my budget. My budget's $2,500.
Yeah.
I want to go somewhere for a week. I want to go somewhere nice, 4-star and up. What is the best place to go? And she said, well, you're not going to be able to go to Aruba or Fiji, but Dominican Republic, Cabo, Cancun, those are going to be your best options. And I said, okay, what are the top 3 you'd recommend within that price range that are 4-star and above? She said, here's where I would go. She listed out the 3, and now it narrowed down my search to 6 places.
6 places.
Instead of 1,000.
Can you negotiate the price a little bit with them?
Well, what I can do is say, hey, can you tell me what the best dates would be to go for my budget? And so she can go, well, if you leave on a Sunday to Sunday, it's going to be $2,300. If you leave Monday to Friday, it's going to be $2,400. And so they can actually, on the back end, do that. And you can also do it yourself right there. But it really helped narrow down my search because, truthfully, The reason why people bust their budget is because they're lazy. They don't want to do the research.
Don't want to do the research.
And so I understand that. No one wants to spend 7 hours planning their trip.
Right.
So get on the phone, help get you to a place where you know the 6 places you want to research. Look at the reviews, look at what people are saying.
Yeah.
And we found a great place in Cabo, 7 nights, and I think it was $2,200 for a 4.5-star resort.
4.5 star.
All inclusive.
$2,200.
Yes.
Flight, room, and food?
I did my flights through Southwest.
Okay.
But we did our honeymoon, flights included. They have transportation included from the airport to your resort, and it was fantastic. So you can get really good deals with your flights included on Costco Travel.
Woo!
It's a lot, I know. Let's go. I'm ready to go somewhere. I'm getting excited.
I am. So, listen, man, this is the financial tip of the week. I want to help you get out there, hit the beach, have a good vacation this year, the rest of this summer. But I want you to do it on a budget, but still have a good time. So, George, as we end this tip, end it well with this. Just sum it all up for us.
Okay, here's the deal. Know what your budget is going in.
Yeah.
Don't go, well, I really want to go on this trip, so I'm going to spend $5,000 now. No, set your budget. We got $2,500.
Yeah.
Here's the time frame we want to go. Be as flexible as possible. Don't go over your budget, and do your research. Because when you do your research, you're going to find a better deal, and you'll know you're not getting ripped off. I hate that feeling of going, I could have got a better deal, but I don't know. I was rushed. So here's the big thing. I don't want people to come back home with debt. I want you to come back home with a smile on your face, and for me, a tan would be nice.
I don't know about a tan. I'm already black enough, and I don't want to get any more blacker. And you guys, this is what we're going to be doing every single week. We're going to be dropping some financial tips to really help you hit your financial goals, hit your life goals, and even travel around the world. And with George coming on once a month, he's going to be giving us some hacks right here at the table on how we can get out there and really hack into shopping, gas, traveling, you name it. So do me a huge favor. I want you to drop in the comments below what are some hacks that you want to know, so George or myself can give you some every single Monday on the financial tip of the week. And make sure y'all go follow our latest and newest Ramsey personality, who is doing some amazing things. He has a dope podcast coming out here in the fall called The Fine Print. He's the lead on that. I'm so excited. Yo, it's your boy Anthony O'Neal. We're keeping it real, relevant, and relatable right here every single Monday, and we'll see you next week.